Welcome, Wanderers, to the first episode of our holiday series. We'll be celebrating the holiday season with 3 holiday-themed episodes. Today, we're going to be taking a look back to see how some of our favorite holiday traditions came to be. So grab some hot cocoa and a warm blanket as we dive in. So you guys probably are familiar with like the traditions of, decorating a Christmas tree or, hanging up Christmas lights. But there's some traditions that they have some interesting backgrounds. So we dug up a bunch of our favorite Christmas traditions and we found the histories of them.
I've actually never even heard of this first one that I'm gonna do.
Which one is that?
I didn't know we were doing our favorite Christmas traditions. I just found some that I was like, I don't know really anything
it's like
about
ones
these.
that are interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I just found interesting ones. I've never even heard of this one. I'm not German, so that's probably why.
What is it?
It's the Christmas pickle.
Oh, I've heard of this one.
I've never heard of this one.
I've seen the ornaments and stuff in stores.
Yeah, me too, but I just thought it was for like weird people that like pickles.
Have you seen so I think it's in Hobby Lobby. They have a stick of butter.
See?
Like a glittery stick of butter.
See? You know what I mean? I just thought that it was for like weird people that had like a pickle fascination and just wanted it on a tree.
It could be, yeah.
I didn't know it was a tradition, but it is.
Okay.
So it's sort of German. We'll get into the whole thing, okay?
Okay.
So this German tradition is hang a Christmas pickle. Or I'm going to try this in German now, okay? Don't laugh.
Oh,
Weihnachtsgurke. I think
it's like
that's
a gherkin,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, gurke.
Yeah,
Is that a
gherkin,
pickle?
I think it's pickle.
Okay.
I believe so,
You
yeah.
know, I don't really eat the pickles. I don't like them.
You
Anyway.
don't like pickles?
No.
I
only eat like a few a year.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Only like a few.
Okay.
So the Weihnachtsgurke now is also an American tradition of hiding the green ornament on the tree, so that the first child to find it wins a gift or gets to open the first Christmas present in the morning. The German way is that they don't hang just like a pickle ornament. The followers of this tradition, they hide the teeny little green pickle, a real pickle, within the tree's many branches. So a legitimate edible food pickle. So on Christmas morning, the first child to find the real pickle receives an additional gift or the privilege of opening the first present. So sort of like the same thing, but a little bit different because it's a real pickle.
It's kind of fun.
The American way is with an ornament. I just did some more research in this and found that like a lot of Germany doesn't really do this.
Oh, really?
At all. They don't know anything about this Christmas pickle.
It's supposed to be like a German tradition, though?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
But so in fact, in a 2016 survey, they found that 91% of Germans had never heard of the Christmas pickle and only 2% celebrated it or used it. So if it didn't come from Germany, where did it come from? So one legend holds that the tradition started with John Lauer in the 19th century, a Bavarian soldier fighting in the American Civil War. Lauer fell deadly ill while being held at the Andersonville prison camp, and near his deathbed he asked for a pickle, a request that cured him entirely. After that, Lauer hung a pickle from his Christmas tree every single year. Another belief holds that the poor families in Spreewald, Germany, a region known for its pickles, once hung them on their Christmas trees in the absence of other ornaments. The practice's origins are a bit murky, but it likely grew from a Woolworths marketing gimmick from the late 1800s when the retailer received imported German ornaments shaped like a pickle and needed a sales pitch. So it's more German American than from actual Germany.
Oh, interesting. See, I always thought it was like a history thing in Germany, but interesting. Okay, so I also have a kind of a German tradition. So this one is the Christmas tree. So like a tradition that most people celebrate and like use during the holiday season. So the history of the Christmas tree goes back to the symbolic use of evergreens in ancient Egypt and Rome, and continues with the German tradition of candlelit Christmas trees, which were first brought to America in the 1800s. So it's like So people like all
Mm-hmm.
over the world have used like not necessarily like Christmas trees like we think of, but like different like palm fronds or like anything that stays green all year round. They use like the green leafies as decoration as like a sign of like hope and like fertility and like good fortune, basically.
Yeah. So like the German pagans, they like displayed like the branches as a reminder that spring would come again, and Romans placed them around their temples to honor Saturn, who is the god of agriculture,
Yeah,
and so on and so forth.
yeah, exactly. So Germany is credited with starting the tradition of the Christmas tree as we know it back in the 16th century, when devout Christians brought decorated trees into their homes. Some built Christmas pyramids of wood and decorated them with evergreens and candles if wood was scarce. So it was a widely held belief that Martin Luther, the 16th century Protestant reformer, first added lighted candles or lit candles to a tree. While walking towards his home one winter evening, he was awestruck by the millions of stars twinkling amidst the evergreens. And he wanted to recreate this for his family, like give them the same like awestruck feeling, so he placed the tree in the main room and then lit the branches, like put little candles on them to kind of recreate the stars. So I thought that was kind of cute.
What a fire hazard.
I mean, that tradition went on for a long time too.
That's
So
true.
they made it safer
That's
and
true.
safer.
Mhm. I
But yeah.
read that it spread to England when Queen Victoria, she had a German husband, Prince Albert.
Okay. Mhm.
So they set up a Christmas tree in their palace, and then like the practice, because it was the queen that did it. You know, she's
Mhm.
equivalent to like the Kardashians. I hate to say that, but I'll
Yeah.
say it. And the practice suddenly became like the height of the Christmas symbolism in England and then also America.
Oh, interesting. That's cool. What you got?
Let's do wreaths.
Okay.
I like wreaths.
I like him too.
So, wreaths were developed in the 16th century in Germany.
Oh,
But the
okay.
symbolism of wreaths go back to ancient Greece and Rome when victorious athletes wore leafy branches woven into a crown, except a lot of those would be olive branches and stuff like
Mhm.
that. The wreath is a symbol, and it's a circle, and a circle is never ending.
Mhm.
And they made it out of evergreens, which also offered the promise of spring's rebirth to pagans celebrating the winter solstice. So later this Christmas symbol was adapted into Christian celebrations with the Advent wreath, which is used to count down the
Mhm.
weeks until the birth of Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're recording this like the week of Thanksgiving. So
Mhm.
yeah, so Advent actually started this week. So that's pretty cool. The
So did
28th of November.
Hanukkah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that started this week.
Today, yeah.
So yeah, so kind of continuing talking about Hanukkah. So one of the traditions that honestly growing up, I don't think I really knew much about, but I thought it was interesting because I've seen it before. Is when people put like a single lit candle in the window of like your house. Like sometimes it's just one window, sometimes it's like all your windows. Yeah, but there's several different meanings behind it. So the first one is when you place the candle in the window. It's a common Christmas tradition that dates back to colonial times, and the tradition grew from the Irish, whose faith was outlawed by British priests attempting to repress the Irish Catholics, which prevented them from practicing their faith, and as a result, the priests went underground, traveling and worshipping in secret. Irish Catholics began lighting candles in their windows and leaving their doors unlocked at Christmas as a sign it was safe for a priest to visit under the cover of darkness.
Oh, that's weird. How did it get
Yeah,
into
isn't it?
Christmas?
What kind of? So there's a couple more examples
Okay.
here. But yeah, it's kind of, I guess, like with that one, kind of with Christmas, it's like Christmas is a very significant holiday, right? It's
Mhm.
like one of the main holidays. So it's like being able to have your priest come in, like visit, and be like, it's Christmas
Oh,
here.
okay.
It's like I think that's kind of how that one ties into
Mhm.
Christmas. Second example is a lit candle was often placed in the window when a family member passed away. So like if they pass away, it was a way to like remember them and letting them know that they were missed. It's also seen as like a silent prayer for the safe return or for an absent person, like if someone went away like to war or something, or like just went traveling somewhere. It was a sign that someone remained at home tending the fire and was waiting for them. So
Oh, that's really sweet.
yeah, it's kind of cute.
Mhm.
And then the last one is that the light symbolizes different religious traditions for those of various faiths. So, Christians, a candle is lit to represent the Star of Bethlehem, which guided the Magi to the stable where Jesus was born. And then for the Jewish faith, the menorah in the window is a Jewish custom symbolizing the miracle of Hanukkah. And then today, a menorah in the window represents the determination of the Jewish people for not abandoning their own faith. Yeah,
Cool.
it's kind of cool. So there's a lot of different symbols for it.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're all really cool.
Okay, so we're gonna do snowmen next. So the first documented snowman appeared in 1380,
Oh,
but
wow.
mankind
Okay.
has probably been making snowmen for as long as there's been snow.
Yeah, I
Yep.
believe that.
I believe that too. These Christmas symbols were especially, I think it's more, no, it's more like this, it's just a winter symbol.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so this winter symbol was made popular during the Middle Ages when many lacked the proper resources or outlets for artistic expression. So instead of
Oh,
trying to find traditional art supplies, maybe they couldn't afford them or whatever, they then instead turned to snow, and there was
oh.
plenty of it. Michelangelo was even commissioned to build a snowman for the ruler of Florence.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they have, like, someone, like, sketched it, 'cause that'd be cool to see, like, what he did. If it was just, like, our traditional snowman, just, like, that's
I
pretty
doubt that much. Can you imagine Michelangelo who did date the statue of David and
Yeah.
can't think of it off the top of my head. The what is it? I gotta think.
The
What
Sistine
is it?
Chapel.
Yes, the Sistine Chapel. Thank you.
You're
Sorry,
welcome.
everyone. I'm supposed to be the art
Hmm.
brain over here with my minor in art history, but apparently I can't even think of one of the most iconic
I got one. I
murals
got
in the
one.
world, which would be the Sistine Chapel. But yeah, can you imagine if Michelangelo, who did all, is an amazing sculptor, painter,
Mhm.
architect, just made like the traditional snowman of just like the three balls with the carrot as the nose and
And
sticks as
just, like, a little
arms.
hat.
It was just
They're
like,
pretty
there you
great,
go.
honestly.
So no,
That's
I
pretty
bet his
great. I
stuff was
love that.
really, ornate and amazing.
Yeah. So the next one that I have is fruitcake, which is
Ew.
actually okay, yeah, so you don't like fruitcake,
It
I'm not
never goes
crazy about it.
bad.
I think it kinda does, but it's, like, it's so preserved, it doesn't really
It doesn't go bad.
Yeah,
You could, like, pass around a fruitcake for, to each family member, like, unload it on them, and they could regift it to you,
yeah.
and it could go on for years and years and years, and you could still eat it 20 years later, and it'd be fine.
It's better than a Twinkie in, like, a apocalypse shelter, right? It's just, like, you set that
Oh,
on the
can you
shelf, and that
stomach
would
a
be fine.
fruitcake, though? That's the thing.
I don't know, my sister made some a few years ago, and that was okay.
It was okay to you?
But like the store-bought stuff is just it's not my favorite. But so according to New York Times, fruitcake dates back to a food enjoyed by ancient Romans called satura. It was a mix of barley, pomegranate seeds, pine nuts, and raisins, which were held together with honey. And some speculate that this dish was invented as a way to preserve fruit, which
Mhm.
kind of makes sense because like
Makes
nowadays it's
sense.
like all preserved fruits.
Yep.
And then in the Middle Ages, fruitcakes were made with honey, preserved fruits, and then if they could find it, spices. So that was pretty popular. And then according to the Smithsonian Magazine, fruitcake gained popularity as a special occasion dish in the 18th and 19th centuries because during these times the ingredients were more expensive and were harder to come by, which made the fruitcake a rare delicacy. So it was actually
Weird.
in the 19th century, a fruitcake became a traditional wedding cake in England.
Oh my gosh.
So I was like, well, if you think about it, if it was like a rare thing, if it's for your wedding, right, you're
Divorce.
gonna spend a little bit more.
It all led to oh my gosh, divorce.
No, no.
Divorce.
I wonder too if it tastes better back then because I'm sure they didn't have like the maraschino cherries. And, like I like maraschino cherries,
Bleh.
don't get me wrong, but you don't like them?
I like them at 2
I think
AM
they're
at a
good.
bar. That's when I like them. That's the only time I
There
like
you
them.
go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
But I suppose like their fruits and stuff tasted different. Plus, is like fruits back then, especially, were rare. That's why like kids used to get them for
That's
Christmas.
true.
So it's different
Ooh,
taste.
good
But
segue. Here we go. Speaking
ooh,
of foods that children used to get during Christmas, their next thing is the Christmas orange. I
Aw.
didn't know about this either.
Oh
I
really?
had no
I
idea.
don't remember. For some reason, I thought like it was in like the Little House on the Prairie books. Maybe I'm wrong, but that
I bet
reminds
you're
me of
right,
that time.
but I didn't know about this. So, the
Yeah.
Christmas orange. I just have all this sort of food orientated stuff.
Food's
Pickle,
delicious.
orange.
The holidays are for food,
That's true.
right?
The
Yeah.
holidays are for gorging your face.
Delicious foods.
So the Christmas orange, this is a lesser known holiday symbol. It was actually a traditional 19th century stocking present. And in the original St. Nicholas stocking folktale, sometimes it said that he left oranges instead of gold coins. Why? Well, putting oranges in Christmas stockings was a much more affordable tradition to replicate than a bag of gold. Duh.
Oh,
Yet the exotic fruit still seemed a rare, indulgent treat for this holiday season.
yeah, it's very true. It's like, especially back then when you didn't have like all the transportation and stuff we have now, it's like fruits, if you
Rot.
live up like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like trying to get them from wherever, like Florida or whatever, up
Mm-hmm.
to like the Midwest, they go probably bad by the
Oh,
time you
yeah.
could get it up here back then. So
I wish there would be like a holiday pineapple, like a Christmas pineapple. That's the
wasn't that
more
like super
kingly
expensive
fruit.
still?
Yeah,
It's
that's
like kingly.
kingly fruit.
I'm sure they put it on like their ham and stuff
That's
if they
true.
could get it.
Yeah, if they could get it. And if you want to know more about the exciting history of the pineapple and its relations to, wealth and money and
Mhm.
power, you can go back and listen to episode 38.
Oh, there you go. Good segue. I
Thank
like
you.
it. But after this episode.
Or you can take
All
a
right.
break from the episode and go listen to that episode and then come back.
That's true. Either
hmm
one. So, next one that I have are gingerbread men. So, according to Carol Levin, who is a director of medieval studies program at the University of Nebraska Lincoln, Queen Elizabeth I's 16th century reign was known for their elaborate royal dinners that included things like marzipan-shaped fruits, castles, and birds, like fancy desserts. So, the Queen's staff, they also included a royal gingerbread maker. So, according to Levin, there was a banquet where she had gingerbread made to represent foreign dignitaries and people in her court. So kind of like to kind of go with the expensive allure with her dinners.
hmm
So, also during this time period, gingerbread men were dished out by folk medicine practitioners, often described as witches or magicians. They would create them as love tokens for young women. So, if they could get the man of their choice to eat the gingerbread man that had been made for them, the idea was that the man would fall in love with the young woman. So, it was like a love spell, basically.
Oh,
So,
sad.
yeah. So how did they become something to eat around the holidays? Basically, the popularity of the gingerbread men during the holidays, at least in part, was attributed to the belief that spices would heat you up in the winter. So like the
That's
gingers,
it?
yeah, that's pretty much it. It's like the spices with like ginger and I think cloves, like nutmeg, they're all very deep like spices,
hmm
right? Kind of like warm spices. So that's kind of why it's like a cookie made with the warm spice and heat you up in the winter. So that's kind of how it came in
That's
contact with
weird
like the
that it was just
holidays.
like some witch doctor's love potion and then it just went to, we eat it.
Christmas!
Christmas.
Yay! Fun. Delicious. They are really good though. I love gingerbread. You
Take it
don't
or
like
leave it.
gingerbread?
I take it or leave it.
Okay, fair enough.
All right. Another thing I take or leave is the elf on the shelf.
Oh, I don't like this one.
This is it's modern Christmas
Yeah.
symbol and the burden to many parents everywhere. The Christmas elves, of course, are not new. We've
Yeah.
covered this in episode 42 called Gnomes. You can
Mhm.
go back and listen to it if you want to. Anyway, mischievous elves crop up in Scandinavian, Celtic, and German folklore, and they became linked with the Santa Claus tale in the 19th century. So fast forward to 2005 when twin sisters and their mother self-published the book Elf on the Shelf about a family tradition they had growing up. Their toy elf only moved at night, traveling back and forth to the North Pole to report the kids' naughty or nice behavior to Santa and returning to a new location around the house the next day.
See, like, I heard about this, like, growing up. I think I was, like, a teenager when I finally heard about it.
Same.
But
They have like
it's, like,
books and movies and TV specials every year now.
and they have, like, different outfits you can dress it up as.
hmm
Um, but
Why
the
wouldn't
idea
it
of it
want to be just an
creeps me
elf?
out.
It's an elf. Like, why would you want to dress it
Yeah,
up as like, I don't know,
as a
Zorro or
fairy.
something?
I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of interesting things. Like some parents like do like make up whole like little scenes of them like
Oh
raiding the
yeah.
fridge or using the bathroom or like just like hiding random places.
I've seen like pooping with like Hershey Kisses where they like pose them so that they
Yeah,
look like they're pooping.
it was fun. Yeah, it's
hmm
kind of funny, but it also like the thought of it kind of creeps me out. To be honest, just like this little creature
It's just too
watching
much
you.
work. Like the holidays are already too much work as it is for these parents to have to, work and then also get toys and all this other stuff. But then now they have to like make this elf do comical like scenes, like set this up. That takes
I feel
hours.
like yeah, like I feel like if I had one for my kids, it'd be just like moving it different places throughout the day and like little things. It wouldn't be like whole elaborate scenes, I guess.
It would stay in one
I
spot
don't
and
know.
that's it.
for your house and just stay
Mhm.
in one spot.
I might even
Yeah.
just like get like a trail camera, like make a miniature trail camera, and the elf is there,
Okay.
and then the elf like one day, and then the elf is just like, I've given up, I hate my job, I quit, and then there's like a sign with like a trail camera that's just like, it'll just watch you with this while it sits at home, it like sits in its lazy boy and eats peaches.
Peaches. Why peaches?
I don't know, like that's kind of like a fun thing to eat, savory,
Peaches are
juicy.
sweet. What?
I
Peaches are
don't
not
know.
savory. They're
I don't eat peaches. I don't know this. I thought a peach is savory. Is a
You've never
peach not
had a
sa
peach?
No!
It's a fruit.
I'm a
Have
quarter
you
of a
never had a
century
peach?
years old, and I've never had a peach.
Really? That's surprising. Okay.
I've
Yeah,
had
they're they're
peach-flavored
sweet.
things. Does that count?
Aren't those well, like, aren't they sweet?
No, I taste like crap and I spit it out.
Oh man. Yeah, no, they're a fruit. They're supposed to be
Well, the
sweet.
elf can
So
eat that too.
okay. All
Mhm,
for him. It's
mhm.
fine. It's all fun. So the next one that I have are candy canes, which is something that I always had growing up as a kid.
I had those too. My nana has candy
Mhm.
canes on her tree from the 1970s.
Are you
She
serious? She saved them?
Yeah, she uses them as ornaments. They're still, like, wrapped up and they look disgusting. They're like it's more like a petrified candy cane at this point. I wouldn't eat them,
Okay.
but I would serve them to your enemies if you have any.
Have they changed color or are they still good? Like
No, they change colors. They don't look nice.
are they just like brown now?
It's more like it's like orangey yellowed, but then she has like she
Oh,
has like the
okay.
multicolored ones as well that it doesn't they don't look pleasant.
Oh, that's not good. You should just get her a bunch like of new ones and give them to her for a Christmas present this
I
year.
think she would just stack them on top of the old ones. I don't think she'd get rid of the old
Oh,
ones.
really?
Yeah, that doesn't
Okay.
really go through her head when you give her something new to replace the other thing. It's more
It
like,
doesn't,
"Oh,
yeah.
I add on to it. If one looks good, 10 more will look even better." It's more that
Okay.
logic. But anyway,
Okay.
tell me about candy cane.
All right, here we go. So it is said that in 1670, a choir master at the Cologne Cathedral in Germany gave all the fidgety children who attended the long church services like white sticks of candy, basically to like help them like have something to do while they're sitting through
Mhm.
hour-long services and stuff. So the sticks were bent later to into a J for either Jesus or to look like a shepherd's crook. So you know, like the staff that shepherds have.
Yeah.
So this was done to appease the other churchgoers that complained the sweet treat did not belong in the holy space. And I just think that they were jealous that they didn't get candy.
Debbie Downers. Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. And then giving out candy canes became a regular tradition, and eventually the practice during church ceremonies spread over all around Europe and America, so it became a regular thing. And then the first documented example of the use of candy canes to celebrate Christmas occurred in 1847 when August Imgard, a German-Swedish immigrant from Worcester, Ohio, decorated his Christmas tree with the paper ornaments and candy canes. So it's just like a very simple thing. So that's kind of how it got connected with more with Christmas and decorating and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. And then later, the solid white sugar canes were on Christmas cards in the early 1900s, and then the first red and white striped ones were made at the turn of the 19th century. So at the time the first striped candy canes appeared, the candy makers added peppermint flavor, which quickly became the most popular flavor and
Okay.
traditional. So many people believe that the shape and form of the candy cane have religious meanings, which they kind of do, and it is believed that the red stripes of the candy canes represent the blood of Christ, and the white stripes of the candy cane represent the purity of Christ. The three fine stripes that are believed to represent the Holy Trinity, and like we said before, the shape J shape, the candy could represent Jesus, or to look like a crook from a shepherd's cane.
Okay, I think
Yeah.
I've heard that one before. Okay, so the Yule log, it was part of the ancient winter solstice celebrations, but it was Americans who turned the wood burning into must-see TV. So back in 1966, WPIX TV in New York City aired a continuous 17-second loop of a fireplace for 3 hours along with holiday music. That led to
Okay.
to an eventual better production and nearly 20 years of annual viewing. Today
Oh
you
my.
can view the Yule log on demand and on YouTube.
I'm not gonna lie, when you said Yule log, I was thinking like, like the rolled up cake with like the frosting in the middle. Isn't that called
Yeah,
the Yule log
I
too?
think it's called a Yule log as well, but I mean, it's
Is that
based off
okay?
of that thing that you're supposed to burn.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of people now I've seen like different people like the different takes on the Yule log. I think I watched the Yule log. My sister put it on one year for Christmas, like while we were decorating the tree, and just like it was just this
You're like,
burning
this
log
is
on our
just a
TV.
burning log on the TV. I like the one where they add stuff. It's just not the log. Like it's a view of the
Yeah.
like the room, and there is one that has like
Mhm.
puppies playing or like sleeping.
Yeah. Yeah, those are cute, yeah.
That one's cute. I recommend that one if
Yeah,
you
those
need a
are cute.
Yule log for your Christmas this year.
There you go. Alright, so the next one that I have is one of my favorite Christmas traditions. It's Christmas lights. So when you hang up lights on your tree and everything, make the outside look beautiful. I
Mm-hmm.
love that. So it was not until around 1915 that the glass balls and lanterns were used to replace the candles on trees, so safer.
Safer,
As it made
not a
a
fire
lot safer.
hazard. Because just think
Well,
how, I mean, if they're using a live Christmas tree and that thing has to be
yeah.
watered constantly or be sitting in water, otherwise it will dry up, and
Mhm.
then you're adding live, like real candles to it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just don't understand how, like, everybody's house burns down or doesn't burn
I'm sure
down.
it's happened. Yeah, yeah. I'm sure like they've had a lot of accidental fires.
Hmm.
And like although like the electric lights are safer, there's still especially like
The
original electric
old
lighting,
ones. Oh my
it's still
gosh.
kind of dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So in 1882, the first Christmas tree to be lit by electric lights was seen in New York. It was lit by Edward Johnson, who was a friend and kind of like a coworker of Thomas Edison. So actually, like Johnson hired Edison for a little bit and was like working with him when he was really young. And then when Edison left to start his own company, Johnson kind of followed him and like basically helped sell a lot of his products and things.
Okay.
So then he like commissioned or like asked Edison to help make something for like Christmas lights, like for his like tree to like decorate it and stuff like that. So the Christmas tree was lit with beautiful red, white, and blue lights, which are still popular today. And it also led to the creation of the first string of Christmas lights that were easily mass produced and were available for sale around 1890. So like the
That's
first Christmas tree,
crazy. I didn't think it
yeah, it
would
was a
be
long
that
time
late.
ago.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
thinking more like 1930s, honestly, or like
Oh, really?
1920s. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, you kind of think so. Yeah, so like the first Christmas tree that was lit with electric bulbs
Hmm.
that Johnson had, it was actually like individual bulbs that they wired together. So it wasn't like a string of bulbs like see
Oh,
today.
yeah.
It was like individual ones. So it was
Okay.
a lot more work.
That's a lot of work. That's a
Yeah, but
lot
it's
of
kind of
extra
cool.
steps.
Yes, yep. So the first sets of strings of Christmas lights were expensive. For then it was like $12 for 24 lights, which in today's money would be about $80, which was a lot. It was a little bit too
Wow.
expensive, yeah, for like everyday people to afford, especially to have like multiple to decorate
Yeah,
their
you need
tree.
24 lights. That doesn't really go that much
Yeah.
far on a Christmas tree.
No, no. However, Christmas lights became available for rent, just like the pineapple, at a much cheaper price, allowing them to be used by everyone to liven up their holiday displays. So they kind of had like kind of the same thing as like we talked about with the pineapple. They
Hmm.
have places where you can go and rent out Christmas lights.
Yep. Which is the nice thing that they have.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So these lights were created by GE, General Electric,
Yep.
and they came in 7 colors: clear, frosted, green, blue, purple, ruby, and opal.
Opal.
Yeah,
Pretty. I want
yeah, I think that'd
that.
be pretty.
They should bring that
Yeah,
back.
same.
I would love some
That'd be
opal.
pretty. Yeah, I love those. And then in 1917, a fire caused by the Christmas lights led to some reworking, and Albert Sadeka came up with safe lights, which helped reduce the risk of fire from Christmas light strings.
That's
It's
pretty
pretty
neat.
cool.
I didn't know anything about Christmas
So,
lights at all.
yeah, it's kind of cool.
Hmm.
Have you ever seen like those the lights that have like they look like miniature lava lamps, like
Yeah,
bubble lights
bubble
they call them?
lights.
I love
I
those. I
love
want
bubble
some.
lights. I think those are
Those are cool.
dangerous too. I don't know.
I think so. I think they used to be. I think now they've kind of reworked them to
Okay.
make them safer, which they kind of have to. But yeah, it's like if they're safe, I'd like to have some. Actually,
Me
it'd be
too.
fun.
I'm gonna check Amazon. All right, my next one I'm gonna do is mistletoe.
Okay.
So, Norse mythology creeps into this Christmas tradition to explain why we kiss under the mistletoe. So, according to legend, the gods use mistletoe to resurrect Odin's son Balder from the dead. So, Balder's mother, Frigg, the goddess of love, made the plant a symbol of love and vowed to kiss anyone who passed under it. The plant also ties into the holiday season because it can blossom even when it's cold outside, so perfect timing. So during Christmas celebrations in the 18th century in England, men were allowed to kiss any women who were standing under the mistletoe, and if the ladies refused, that meant bad luck. Probably die alone, barren, and sad, with some cats.
That's really depressing. Yeah, wasn't it like said that like if a woman refused a guy's kiss from that, like she would never get married, whatever.
I would just,
It's
if I
just like
went to a Christmas party during that time, I would just stand with my head looking constantly, like up, my head like looking up.
it's like am I standing?
I'd look like Charlie Brown when he's when the Peanuts gang are dancing,
Oh,
and like their
yep,
hand,
yep.
I would look like that.
You can't trick me.
Hmm.
Yeah, so adding to that too, like the kissing tradition of kissing under the mistletoe started in ancient Greece during the festival of Saturnia, I believe is how you say
It's
it.
just after the god Saturn.
Saturn. Okay. And later in marriage ceremonies because of the plant's association with fertility. During the Roman era, enemies at war would reconcile the differences under the mistletoe, which to them represented peace. Romans also decorated their houses and temples with mistletoe in midwinter to please their gods.
Cool. So
So
even
yeah,
it was used back even then.
yeah,
I've
it's
never
a
is
pretty long tradition.
I've never seen mistletoe like a real plant. I've only seen like the fake plastic ones.
I don't think I have either. I think I had to Google it because I
That's
was like, what does
weird.
it actually look like?
Can I buy it
So
at
it's like,
Lowe's? Like the real plant?
let me Google. I don't know. Let me go to Lowe's. You can buy fake ones, not the real plants.
Isn't it? It's poisonous if you eat it, right?
Oh, I'm sure. Why would you eat it?
I don't know. I heard it in Batman.
Yeah, I don't think you can
Because
eat
their
it.
quote was like, what was it? The quote was, it was like Catwoman and Batman, and one of the two said, like, oh, mistletoe. It's, it's deadly if you eat it. And the other one says back, like, it's super cheesy. A kiss is even deadlier.
Oh, smooth.
Smooth.
Yeah, there's a lot of sellers. Like I just Googled, so I looked for like on Google like where you could buy it. A lot of people on Etsy sell it actually.
I might go in there, like Etsy better than
I think it's
Amazon
Etsy.
or Lowe's
Yeah.
even.
I actually like so when I was younger, I always confused mistletoe that has white berries with holly, which has red berries.
Is
So like I
that
always
not
like
it?
switch them. They're two separate plants. Holly and mistletoe.
Holly's the red berries, right?
Yes.
And then what's the
Yep. Holly's
mistletoe?
red, white.
Weird.
It's just white.
White berries? Ugly. No color. Okay.
We can get some at Williams and Sonoma
I
for
can't
that have
afford.
red
I
berries.
can't even afford a napkin in Williams and Sonoma.
It's $25.
I can get that, but is it worth it?
Probably not, honestly.
Mhm.
Yeah. So next few that I have are about Santa. So the first one is Why Santa Wears a Red Suit. So the artist Thomas Nast illustrated Moore's book. Moore wrote A Night Before Christmas. He created the images of Santa Claus that would serve as the foundation for his well-known red costume. So I guess like for a while I thought that Coca-Cola made it, so it was like he had the red suit because I guess that's what I heard before was like Coca-Cola was responsible for
Yeah, I thought that they
making him in a red
modernized
suit.
the Santa.
But that's not completely true. Like that's part of it,
Hmm.
but it's not completely true. So Nast went on to draw Christmas scenes for the publication of Harper's Weekly. He continued to draw images of Santa from 1862 until 1866. Nast's illustrations were the first to depict Santa Claus as the version that we see today. His illustrations also included the background of like scenery associated with Christmas, like reindeer, the North Pole, Santa's workshop, toys, all that stuff. However, he still did not have the traditional red suit. So while Santa Claus became an established figure and he showed up in different advertisements, he sometimes appeared thin with a scraggly beard, and while he may have worn a red coat, sometimes he wore a different colored hat, like green or white or something like that.
I like that
So,
better.
do you?
He seemed more like a
That's
wizard.
interesting. That's true.
I like that
Fair
better.
enough, yeah. A wizard. So by 1881, Nast created an image called Merry Old Santa that showed Santa Claus in a red suit, as well with his fuller stomach, thicker beard, and rosy red cheeks. Yet this image had yet to become standard. So L. Frank Baum, who wrote The Wizard of Oz and illustrated the yearly 1900s book The Life and Adventures of Santa Claus, in which Santa wore a green coat with red boots. So still kind of hasn't been solidified yet.
Hmm.
So while different companies did feature Santa Claus in a red suit trimmed with white fur throughout the early 1900s, it was not until 1931 the full image became widely recognized. And in 1931, the Coca-Cola Company hired illustrator Haddon Sundblom to create a Christmas advertising campaign after a successful ad created by the artist Fred Mizzen that ran the year before. And that's how we have the red suit, red hat, black boots, jolly man with the big beard and the big belly.
Hmm. He used to have
Yeah,
like a
so then,
pipe, right? Or no? And they got
yeah,
rid of that maybe
yep, I think so.
because of
No,
tobacco and all that stuff. Okay.
yeah.
That's pretty cool. I didn't know that
Yeah,
they
so
red suit was before Coca-Cola.
yeah, it's like I always thought it was like green before then or something like that,
Hmm.
and then they just switched it. But it's been flip flopping for years,
Cool.
and then yeah, you got another one.
Okay, I have this one that a lot of people don't know about.
Okay,
It's not on any slides. I have it on Atlas Obscura.
okay.
So it's called. I did this once as a little kid. It's called the Peppermint Pig.
Oh, I've heard of
Have you
that.
heard
Yeah.
of that?
Okay.
Okay. So you just basically smash this pink candy pig with a tiny hammer,
Oh.
and it started in Saratoga Springs. And so that's
Okay.
in New York, the state of New York. So
Okay.
it has roots dating back to the 19th century, so 1800s. So after a
Mhm.
Christmas dinner, a family member deposits the pig into a small sack, and then using a small metal mallet or hammer, each person at the table gives a pink porker and shares
That's
a
so
story.
sad.
I love it, and shares a story of how their good fortune from the past year. So once everyone has had a turn, the sack is dumped out and the piggy pieces are shared among the guests. So it's body parts. So they're shared among the guests in the hopes of ushering in another year of happiness and prosperity. So local lore says that the Saratoga-based chef invented the peppermint pigs as a substitute for in-demand but difficult to source European marzipan candies in the
Oh,
1880s. So while the
okay.
candy and its rousing tradition became beloved holiday rituals, sugar rationing during World War II brought production to a halt. But in 1988, a local candy maker named Mike Fitzgerald decided to resurrect the piggies. So today, Fitzgerald's team at Saratoga Sweets still use natural peppermint oil flavoring and shapes the candy with aluminum alloy molds that have been cast from the century-old originals. When the cooled
Oh,
molds are carefully opened, they reveal a small pink pig inside.
oh,
So the Saratoga Sweets, they produce more than 100,000 pigs each year.
oh my
So if you
goodness.
want to know anything more about that, you can go onto the Saratoga Sweets website, or you can look at the rest of this article up on Atlas Obscura.
Okay. Is this supposed to be like modeled after like a piggy bank? Is that what it is?
No, it just looks like a big old hog.
Okay.
It doesn't look like a cute. No, it doesn't look like a cute like pig. It looks like a big fat like squeal squeal truffle pig. It's a huge.
Why is it a pig then?
I
That's
don't know.
interesting.
That's a great question. I don't know.
And you said, how many times have you done that? Is it
I did
once?
it once. I still
Okay.
have the mallet.
Oh, that's fun.
Maybe I will smash some pigs this year. I don't know.
Usually order a pig.
Fingers crossed.
All right, so the last one that I have is why do we leave cookies out for Santa? So, originally, leaving a treat out for Santa was born during the Great Depression as a lesson from parents to children on giving. So, leaving out cookies and milk for Santa also doubled as a sign of appreciation and show of gratitude for the gifts the children received, even while America was going through the economic hardship. And then this tradition has spread throughout the world. Instead of milk, pints of Guinness are left out for Santa during his stops in Ireland. In France, children leave out wine and stuff hay
Oh,
and carrots into their shoes for
I would
treats for
like
the
that.
reindeer.
I would just want to
Yeah,
get, if I was Santa, I would just want to get
yeah, wine at
hmm
every house.
just wine drunk.
Don't drink and fly. So, and then Australian and British children leave out mince pies as well as
Ew.
cookies and milk.
Ew, ew,
I
ew.
remember as a kid, like we had cookies, milk, and we also left like baby carrots out for the reindeer.
Oh, that's cute.
So yeah, that was fun. That's some good memories. That's like something I kind of forgot about growing up because like once you get older, I haven't done that for years, but it's kind of cute if
Like
you
I'm
think about
gonna
it.
have my kids do wine.
Do wine. Santa needs wine.
hmm Santa likes wine
Yeah.
and some Cheetos.
Ooh. Is that a good combination? Wine and Cheetos?
I've done it before and I'll do it again. I'm
Have
fine
you?
with it.
Fair enough.
hmm
I guess wine and cheese, right? Wine, cheese, and crackers.
Oh
It's
yeah,
just
I'll
like
be
all
like,
in one.
Santa would like a nice piece of brie with a
Ooh.
with a Cabernet, please. And that's what Santa
Oh,
wants every
delicious.
year. Yep, that's what
Yes.
I'm gonna do.
Have you seen like I've seen it on TikTok. I think it's from Trader Joe's. They call them brie bites, but they're just like little wheels of brie cheese, like the size of like those Baby Bell cheeses.
Oh gosh, that would
It's
be
just
really
like
good.
it's like little brie
Oh,
bites.
I'm jealous. I wish I had a
We
Trader
should order
Joe's here.
some. Get some. Yeah. So I have quite a few sources that I used in the research for this episode. So some of them that I used were livescience.com, insider.com, cbc.ca, time.com, history.com, bestoflife.com. I actually used halloweenexpress.com for
Ew.
well, that was for like why Santa
Those are
uses
so
like why he has a red
sketchy. That's
coat.
isn't that the no, it's Spirit.
Halloween Express?
Oh,
Yeah, Halloween
I was thinking of that Spirit
Spirit
Halloween where
Halloween.
they just like do
No,
pop-ups
not
in
that
like
one.
old abandoned Shopcos and Kmart's.
Yeah, no, no.
Okay, never mind. Move
No, this
on.
is
Move
Halloween
along.
Express.
Forgive me. Move along.
And then I use candyhistory.net and christmaslightsource.com.
And then I use Reader's Digest. They have some fun articles. I don't know if they still are alive anymore. Like they still do Reader's Digests. I remember
Don't they?
my
Oh,
grandparents got those when I was little. I don't know if they still do physical copies
yeah.
or not. And then
Oh, okay.
Atlas
Yep.
Obscura. I love Atlas Obscura. You can easily just search Christmas traditions or Christmas up there, and you'll find some pretty interesting articles.
Nice. I always forget about that, actually. Atlas Obscura.
It's really I love
Interesting.
it. It's
Mhm.
good for
A lot of weird
travel, and
stuff.
it's like if you're gonna go travel somewhere, it's good for that.
Mhm.
It'll give you, like, restaurants and different,
Oh,
activities, and it's just fun also to just read their articles, their weird stuff.
yeah.
Like Peppermint
Fair
Pigs.
enough. Peppermint pigs. All right, Wanderers, thank you so much for listening to another Foolish Wanderers podcast. If you'd like to give us suggestions for any new episodes for the next coming year, feel free to email us at fwplisteners@gmail.com and check out our companion images at Foolish Wanderers Podcast on Instagram.
And as always, subscribe, comment, give us a 5-star rating. That will really help us out. Share with your friends. And as always, our podcast or new episodes are out every single Wednesday on wherever you're getting your podcasts.
Yeah. All right, guys, thanks so much for listening. We'll see you guys next time.